Bleeding Burgundy podcast, a Washington football podcast by fans for fans. With your hosts, Jesse Martin.
You want to play what? Okay. Say hello to my little friend.
John Taylor.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
And Keith Gray.
The King, your Majesty.
And now here's your host, John Taylor.
Well, hi there, ho there, happy little commanderoos, and welcome to another lovely episode of the Bleeding Burgundy podcast. I am your gracious host for this festivities here, and boy, we're just going to have lots of fun chatting about the Commanders and their loss in Detroit yesterday, and gosh darn it, you just can't win them all. I suppose so. Let me just say before we get started that it's not whether you win or lose, it's how you play the game. But gosh darn it, I'd rather we win the game. Isn't that right, fellas? Well, this squeaky clean little introduction has just been able to serve so that our new friend Swerve can get his kids out of the damn room because things going to go downhill right away because I'm going to introduce my friend and official show, Grumpy Pants, Jesse Martin. How you doing, Jesse?
I'm fucking fantastic, man. Let me tell you, just fucking fantastic.
Gosh, that's really something. Speaking of mouthfuls, there, that's my friend Keith Gray. Keith, I saw a photo of you this weekend at your boys' football game, and let me just say, you have got some big yellow boots.
Those weren't boots; those were sneakers. But
those were sneakers.
Those were sneakers.
You have big yellow sneakers that look like boots.
What are
they? Timber squeaks? Is what they are?
Did you say timber squeaks?
Timber squeaks.
So stupid.
All right, well, now that the introduction's out of the way and everybody's kids should be locked away in another room or to a radiator somewhere, let's just start off with our brand new segment. And that is called this.
What the fuck is that? What the hell was that? What the hell was that?
All right, Badger, what the fuck was that?
What the fuck was that?
What the fuck was that?
I'm not saying it.
Well, I called it. I can't help but say I thought we were going to lose that game, and it happened. I don't want to say exactly as I thought, but it kind of happened the way that I thought. They went in there and they fucking took it to us, whipped our ass, and bowled us over with more shit than we could fucking handle. And there's a million ways to blame, and there's a million reasons why. Here we go on Keith's Everybody Get Dizzy tour. The weekly Everybody Get Dizzy with Keith tour. So, all right. You both picked wins. Why? Jesse, go ahead. Why did you pick a win? Now blacked out.
Listen, because the Lions are the Lions, and even though we haven't won in their building in a long time, I still didn't have any respect for them, and but that's changed dramatically. They came to fucking play. And we didn't. We fucking bent over, took it in the ass in the first half. No lube, no nothing. It was just straight up anal rape.
What the fuck was that?
Yeah.
What the fuck is that? What the hell was that? What the hell was that?
Yeah, there ain't nothing else to say about it.
It was bad. It was just it was the worst half of football, and this is saying a lot. I haven't seen us play that bad
in a few years, at least.
In a very
not a very long time.
No,
we forget who
we
this
played
team
bad.
is.
We've played awful. This was despicable. I was pissed off. I was.
That goes without saying, really.
I don't remember being this mad or that mad at the time. In any game. Any game in the past probably 5-6 years.
Probably past, I don't know, 7 or 8 days. What do you think, Keith? Last time we lost, Jesse was feeling the same way.
Yeah. Jesse was on his way out the door week 1, and we were winning. That was weird.
So, okay, what about you? What did you think?
I mean, I clearly chose a win for the Commanders. Reasons why is because they're the Lions. I mean, I just felt like we were a better team. I felt like the Lions were a little depleted as well. Yeah. However, their backups smacked our asses all game long.
Well, in terms of the backups, the offensive line did smack our asses around. And I got to think that Allen probably wasn't as healthy as he could have been, and we lost Wise pretty soon. But there's no excuse for the way that they took it to the offense. And frankly, we kept playing right into it. There was no adjustment whatsoever. There was nobody on the sidelines over there that went, hey, fuck, they're fucking rushing the shit out of us. They're coming straight up the middle, and they're fucking doing all these creative things, and they're disguising blitzes, and they're bringing 6 guys a lot of times. Why don't we do something, to change that? Why don't we do something to back them off?
I saw times where Turner looked like he turned away from the blitz to go help Roulier block somebody, and just brought free fucking rushers straight to Wentz. He was just getting demolished. It seemed like every fucking play he was getting fucking hit. Every fucking play.
Yeah. Listen, everyone's talking about how, poorly the defense played. That was true.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is defense was actually making plays and keeping us in the game up until the end of the second quarter. Yeah, up until the end of the second quarter. The score was there. They were making plays. I mean, it's not like Detroit was scoring 7 on us every time they got the ball. They were making plays.
No, we forced like 6 points in a row.
Right. It was our offense that was inept and could not get down the field, could not score points. But then after halftime, it flipped. It was the offense was getting us down the field, scoring points, trying to get back into this game. And it was our defense at the end that just totally fucked up.
Look,
played like trash, and here we are with a loss.
Well, look, in terms of offense, the fact that they came out in the second half and did the way they did, 27 points, you should win most games that you score 27 points. But
and when's the last time our team has scored 27 points in third and fourth quarter, too? Like, that never happens. It usually takes us a whole game to get those points.
We had 50 yards of offense in the first half, and then 350 yards of offense in the second half. That
shows you that the adjustment
exactly why we lost.
Why can't he make that adjustment ability on the second or third drive when he sees what's coming and how it's coming? Why can't Turner say, okay, let's do this shit? We always hear about the great coordinators and the great quarterbacks. They'll draw that shit up in the dirt. Let's back this blitz off. Let's back this rush off. They're stunting the living shit out of this Aiden Hutchinson, which, by the way, Aiden Hutchinson, you can fuck right off. They're doing all kinds of things, and they're getting all kinds of pressure. So why no quick hitters? Why do we keep seeing Carson Wentz take a shotgun snap and then drift back another 5 steps, set up, survey the field, and get hit? Why do we see them trying these flippy-flu little goddamn play-action reverse shit? Dude, you know how long it takes for that to set up? They're in your face. Do something. Hit a quicker. Hit a fucking little shot out to McKissick in the flare. Hit a little goddamn dump off to the tight end over the middle. Hit something popping fast. I know they're playing man. They're playing tight. But Jesus fucking Christ, man. They're setting up these plays that take forever. And they're getting their head beat in for it. We didn't even get a first down until, 5 minutes to go in the second quarter?
Yeah,
something like that.
First half.
I don't know. I'm making that up, but we didn't get a first down for almost ever.
No, you're actually right.
We only had, I believe it was only 2 first downs in the first half period.
I think 52 yards total offense in the first half.
Yeah, that's a fact. That I know is correct.
What the fuck is that? What the hell was that? What the hell was that?
Fucking A. What the fuck was that? The defense. All right, look, I don't mean to harp on anything, but our linebackers can't play fucking NFL football. And I hate to say that I should have been able to fucking call up Jack Del Rio and tell him this goddamn 10 months ago when I was telling you all about it, and he should have listened. But, of course, I'm a fan. They're not going to listen to me. Keith, on the other hand, is an ambassador and should have relayed the message.
7 plays of 50 yards or more. Was it 7 plays of 50 yards or more? I think it was 7 plays of 50 yards or more. Yeah. Think about that.
Dude, a reverse to Amon-Ra St. Brown where everybody else is on the other side of Michigan. They went up to Canada for a fucking few minutes. What the fuck? Where was everybody? Holy shit.
A team maybe gives up 2 or 3 big plays in a game, but 7 fucking plays of 50 yards or more.
Anytime they wanted. They were acting like they should have gotten them every time they didn't get them. So
it was.
Gentlemen, I think we can all agree this game was 100% atrocious.
It was
it was atrocious. It was in special teams. What the hell was that?
That's another thing.
Left and right.
That was the
worst
fucking special teams play that I think I've ever seen out of any game I've ever watched in the NFL.
Well, let's not get hyperbolic or anything.
No, I'm being fucking dead goddamn serious. They were fucking they were being bitches. Okay,
I hate
they
to
didn't
say,
fucking hit anybody.
Where's Troy Apke?
No one would fucking hit anybody. Dax, what the fuck are you doing taking the ball out of the fucking end zone? I mean, you can't fucking do that shit. You cannot fucking do that shit. After they did that, then they started kicking to the 1, 2, 3 yard line to make him fucking run. And they were just crushing us.
He had one halfway decent return out to about the 30, 34. But other than that, that was just the whole team was just completely inept all day long, except for the second half offense, of which I would just like to say, if we were able to adjust in the first half, I have complete belief in the offense. If they can do that in a half, they can do that whenever they need to. It's just he's got to get out of whatever script he was in that said we have to keep setting up these deep developing plays, man.
I'm telling you guys this right now. We're going to have to score 40 points to win games if this keeps fucking going. I wish I was halfway joking. I'm not even halfway joking at this point in fucking time.
Jesus Christ. I don't know. Jesse,
you going to be the victim or you going to be the prey?
You're going to be one of the two.
Yeah.
Well, I said in the offseason, I was skeptical of the defense to begin with. And everyone's like, it's preseason.
I just didn't see it being worse than last year. And it's fucking worse.
I didn't see it being worse either, but I didn't see them being good. And I did state that this offense will have to score points in order for us to stay in games, because I don't see the defense being that top 5 that we saw, 2 years back?
2 years ago.
So, yes, Chase Young is not there. Yes, Cam Curl wasn't on front.
It doesn't matter.
There's more problems.
Think they would have made a difference.
Yeah, there's more
problems
than there's more problems than just Chase Young and Cam Curl. Period.
Yeah.
This is a problem.
I hate to say it. All talking about how people have been saying this, that to you, and this, that to you. I've been saying since the outset, fucking Jack Del Rio doesn't know what he's doing with this team. They have mismanaged the linebacker position severely. Yep. We're talking all day long about Jamin Davis, and frankly, I thought that he actually responded somewhat to the criticism. He played a better game on a bad fucking defense. Somehow he keeps getting matched up on these wide receivers in the slot, and I got to think, when it happens that often, it's because offenses are looking at the scheme and going, hey, we can get a matchup that we like right here. And they keep doing it. Jack Del Rio, you need to pull your fucking head out of your MAGA ass and get on this shit straight. And I think the best way for you to get on this shit straight is for you to get on a fucking bus and don't stop till it gets to motherfucking Utah or someplace, and let somebody else come in here that's at least been born somewhere close to the turn of the century to do the job.
Yeah, unfortunately, firing Jack Del Rio at this point in time, I don't think it's going to do anything.
I fire him.
I
do the right thing.
I know a lot of people are saying have Chris Harris call his plays, but I don't know if I want that, because that fucking secondary sucks.
Right.
Like, seriously.
Same fucking we got communication issues back there. For how long? Jesus Christ. Yeah. I could have put a string together on some tomato soup cans and y'all could talk better than you've been talking for 2 years.
I couldn't believe the amount of people that are saying, let fire Del Rio, put Chris Harris in there. No, absolutely fucking
the whole thing is a fucking mess. Every single thing on the defense is a fucking mess.
Yeah.
See, I disagree with that. I'm not calling
tackles.
I disagree with that, but I'm not calling JDR's head right now. But I'm just saying, you give us you can call his head as a fan. It doesn't mean nothing's going to happen.
You got to be in somewhere.
But let's be honest here. Another performance like that, can Chris Harris do any worse? So you might as well just cut the snake's head now. Get it over with. Either way,
you're trying to find solutions for the future. Right now is about bitching and saying, "I told you." Sorry, go ahead, Keith.
No, I'm good. Go ahead.
No, it's a conversation, man. Have at it. Good Lord, what the fuck, man? Change your diaper or something. Holy shit, we're talking football here. What the fuck?
It'd be nice if I could talk.
Well, do it. Jesus Christ.
Well, too late now. Go ahead.
All right, well. Jack Del Rio, it's not about whether he can't get fired now. You can't fire him now. That's
I
crazy.
No one said fire right now, but you can fire him in the middle of the season.
Yeah, middle of the season. Yeah, well, I guess it doesn't really matter.
I'm not saying fire him right now. That's why I said I'm not calling for his head now. I think that's ridiculous. This is week 2. Like, let's go into week 5, week 6. But if we have performances like that again, and it's consistent like this, that guy can kick rocks, in my opinion. And then Chris Harris can come in. I mean, let's be honest. He ain't going to do any worse. So we might as well just make the move. Cut the snake's head now, go into the offseason and figure that shit out.
Yeah, it's the scheme.
After the game that they knew what the schemes they were in.
It's the scheme.
Forrest said they knew exactly what they were doing.
It's not hard when you're only playing fucking 2 linebackers, 5 down linemen. It's easier. I mean, you don't have a Landon Collins to play that third type of linebacker.
Now that would be a good phone call to make this week. I would think. Call Landon Collins for God's sakes and have him get in there. The run defense got better every time he was in there playing up close. Simple as that. And
that's why I said they need to look at the wire, man. They need to figure out something because what they got right now ain't working.
It's just neglect as far as I'm concerned with what JDR is doing with this defense. Is it Ron Rivera that's listening to them say we need something or we need this, and Rivera goes, no, we're good with what we have. Somebody is not getting the message because they're certainly not watching what we're watching.
Yeah, and
we start out like this too, man.
I think Cole Holt played another awful game yesterday. There was so many times where the runner it's like he didn't even fucking try. They
didn't have to, really. Our guys were just completely out of sync. Look, that play where Swift caught the pass, fell down, and got up. Dude, I think it was.
How does that even happen?
I don't.
How does that happen?
Ben Standig put up a fucking picture that I think he got from Mark Bullock, and of the all 22 on that play. There's fucking 5 guys rushing the passer. They're all trying to get in the backfield. There's 6 guys back to the 10-yard line, and there's an 18-yard gap from sideline to sideline in between. It's like, holy shit. And I hear a lot of people telling me, well, all they had to do was make an open field tackle. Or all they had to do was call a competent defense that would not allow that fucking play to even get started that way.
Dude had time to fucking catch the ball, fall down, scratch his ass, fart, get up, and walked into the motherfucking end zone.
Without being touched.
With that when that fucking happened, I so fucking bad.
Look, Derek Force was saying they knew the scheme we're in.
Cussing up a fucking storm, and my mom's just looking at me like, excuse me. Oh my goodness.
Me.
You know what's so disappointing about this is when they hired JDR, man, I was actually really excited. I thought we had ourselves finally a defensive coach that understands.
No, I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you.
Because
we remember his past.
Anything was better than that Neanderthal that we had in the beginning. Like, I swear when that guy was it Joe Barry? When that guy
No, it was Minuski. We had Minuski, and Joe Barry was before him. Joe Barry now has the Packers.
You know what? Yeah, the Packers are playing good now.
I know. Minuski, on the other hand, he's been elevated to head laundry detergent guy at University of Kentucky Southern.
You got good tackle. Like, that's how I envisioned that guy. So when JDR was coming, I'm like, finally, man, we got somebody that has a defensive mind. But that man, all that happened is that man lost his mind because we look like absolute doo-doo. Literally, looking at my TV, all I saw was a bunch of doo-doo, and I just couldn't wipe it off my TV. It wasn't coming off. There was nothing I could do. It was just a pure shit show. And when we started coming back, putting points on the board, the fan in me was like, all right, we're going to make this comeback.
We could have.
Even if we did and we win,
I
still wouldn't go in. Right, exactly. But I still wouldn't have gone into week 3 with any confidence against the Eagles whatsoever. None. Because these guys just played lost.
I hate to tell everybody, but it's going to be worse on Sunday, this upcoming Sunday. It's going to be, they are a running team, and we gave up 8 yards per fucking run. 8 yards. Our average right now is 7.3 yards per carry in the first 2 weeks. That is
pathetic. That is like not even being
so
on the
bad.
field. That is not even being on the field. That is like Cole Holcomb thinking that his gap is like the tunnel that leads to the concourse on the stadium way the fuck over there. This dude doesn't know where to go. He really doesn't. Yesterday exposed the linebacking core even more. By the way, I got to do this again.
What the fuck was that? What the fuck is that? What the hell was that? What the hell was that?
Did you hear Jared Goff came to the line and went, oh, look, there's David Mayo. He said it across the line. 39, 50. Oh, look, there's David Mayo. Boom, hit the line, the tight end for like a 12-yard gain. Mayo belongs in tuna salad. It does not belong in a football stadium.
I don't know. I'd almost
Much less
rather
on
have.
the fucking field.
I'd almost rather have Mayo out there than Holcomb at this point.
Dude, you hear yourself? Do
I
you
hear myself.
yourself?
That is.
What the hell's the matter with you?
Milo Eifert. What? Play him. I fucking play him.
Eifert. Why not?
Try anybody. Anybody did the status quo right now. You have to do something.
Try
Something
my friend
has
Billy.
to be done
Freaking
because the
friend
shit's
Billy.
not fucking working. It's not.
Well, they need to look at the wire and figure something out because
They're not going
this
to.
ain't going to work.
They're
I
not going to.
I know they're not.
They've had all off season, and Ron Rivera with his
We're good with the guys we have.
I know.
what
I
the
know.
fuck is that? I mean, how can you look at this and say we're good with this? The word "good" doesn't even belong in the dictionary that sentence came out of. No fucking
Well, I'm
way.
going to throw a huge hot take, but
Hot take.
everyone's been screaming about that linebacker core. No adjustments. We're in week 2. They played horrible. If this continues to happen, Ron Rivera can touch that hot seat at the end of the year.
I don't think that's very hot take right now, to be honest with you.
Well,
I
and the
think
reason
we're
why I'm saying
slightly-
it is you're a head coach, and you know that this is a problem.
yeah,
Okay, and you do nothing to make adjustments to this linebacker core that is obviously struggling. I don't want to hear these are our guys. No, I want wins. I don't want to hear these are our guys. I don't care about those guys. I want wins. Those guys are not helping the case. So if you, as the head coach, do absolutely nothing and you continue to do the same thing game after game after game, I love you, Ron Rivera. I do.
Oh, stop it.
I feel like Ron has done a lot for this organization. But at the end of the day, you're the head coach. You make these decisions. No decisions have been made. And if we continue to play poorly and lose, my man can sit on that hot potato seat.
Listen, this is the second year, all right, of this, because last offseason, all right, 2020 offseason or 2021, whatever you want to call it, before the 2021 season, they looked at John Bostic and said, we're good with these guys.
Put John Bostic in. I don't care. Try fucking
At this
something.
point, yeah, John Bostic has at least seen it.
We're so desperate. We say put Bostic.
John Bostic.
I don't
This
care.
show's
Do
gone
something.
completely off the rails. Yeah, I'll tell you
Just
what.
fucking try
See,
something.
this is
Anything.
anything, but they won't because this is the second year in a row that they've done this. And then they realized that Bostic's no good and they let him go, only to realize
Bostic
that once
was
they
good
got
against
even
the run,
worse,
though.
let's bring him back instead of looking at anybody else. I get it, Ron. He has a military father, and you think he's a good guy and all that shit like that. But we're here. He's here to tackle people. And I guess maybe the problem is that Ron Rivera really likes Cole Holcomb and thinks he's a really good guy and doesn't want to get him hurt. So just run away from everybody, Cole. Don't try to hit any of them. Fucking A. Look, last week we saw that picture, that thing of Cole Holcomb mic'd up, right? And he got he made that late hit. Almost, I don't want to say late hit out of bounds because that's a penalty, but he was late getting there and made that roll over on that guy out of bounds and got up, and the tackle is running his mouth at him, and he goes, I ain't afraid of you. I ain't afraid of you. I ain't afraid of you. And everybody went, ooh, Cole Holcomb talking trash. Let's get news for you.
Somebody
There ain't a
just-
person in the motherfucking NFL that plays offense that's afraid of Cole Holcomb.
No.
Not
Somebody-
one.
Someone should cut his fucking hair too. He doesn't deserve a fucking mullet. He doesn't play like he deserves the fucking mullet.
The only
to
reason
wear
we
that.
even know he has a mullet is because we're always looking at the back of his fucking helmet while he's chasing whoever he's supposed to be covering.
I'm not mad that we lost the game. I'm mad at the way that we lost the game. The Lions are,
I'm just
I think,
disappointed.
are an up and coming team. They surprised me. They surprised me last week when they how well they played against Philly. And, they have some playmakers. Their defense is feisty, but they were banged up, and we still got fucking manhandled.
Yeah. Well, once we got a hold of their corners and we gave Wentz had a little bit of time, the wide receivers started to light it up.
So let's move to we've talked shit about the defense, deservingly so. Let's find a little bit of good, and it's not much, but we did see some stuff, and I see a lot of shit talking on Carson Wentz. Now he has his fair share of problems, especially maybe
the interception was high.
His when his accuracy is an issue at times. And you're right, he does throw high. He's thrown 3 interceptions already this season. Not really worried about that. We knew this coming in. This is Carson Wentz.
7 touchdowns, though.
I think
kind of not really.
Carson held on to the ball a little bit in that first half, sometimes a little bit too long, but he's come in here and he lit a spark in the offense, which I don't think we could have done that with any other quarterback in years past that we've had in a long time.
7 touchdowns, 650 yards, 3 interceptions.
Yeah.
Okay. Those 3 interceptions were bad interceptions, though. But with that said, when's the last quarterback that's put up those numbers in 2 games?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
A long time.
You can't argue it. You can't argue numbers.
And listen,
not
him. He is way down the list, on the list of issues with this team. But we are starting to see the potency this offense can put on the field. I think we possibly could score 40 points in some games this season if they can put together 4 quarters of dynamic offensive play like we saw the 2 in the second half of the Lions game, because that offense seemed unfucking stoppable at times during that game.
The wide receivers can be unstoppable.
Yeah, in the third and fourth quarter. So still early in the season, guys. It's still early in the season. I do think we misjudged the Lions just because the Lions are the Detroit Lions. I think they're on an up and coming team. It wouldn't surprise me if they snuck into a wild card. They got some pieces, and Jared Goff has playoff experience, Super Bowl experience. No, is he a top-rated quarterback? No, but he's been on teams that has had success. Carson Wentz has been on team that's had success. There's something to build off of.
He was number 1 pick, and Wentz was number 2.
Yeah,
they were picked right one after another.
I think there's a building block here, and yes, it's doom and gloom, and they deserve the fucking all the shit talk that has been coming today, and after the game, it's well deserved. It is, I get it, but I do see some positives, especially with this offense, that could be very fun to watch, because we're going to have offense if we want to do any fucking thing, because we know our defense isn't going to do shit.
All right.
Look, the bottom line is, Jesse, you're 100% correct. This offense is going to be fun to watch. It's already fun to watch now. Again, 7 touchdowns, 650 yards passing. I'll take it. The one surprising thing, but to be honest, is it really? Because if you're throwing the ball a lot, chances are you're going to throw some interceptions as well. It's just the way it is, right? But it is slightly surprising because his interception rate through the years have been low. He did have one season where it was high, but again, he was trying to play hero ball, trying to make things happen. It was a bad situation. But again, no excuses. But at the end of the day, we haven't had a quarterback that has thrown 7 touchdowns, 650 yards in 2 games. We're 1-1.
Right.
And the thing is this guy is spreading the ball around. Okay, Curtis Samuel's eating. Terry McLaurin is somewhat eating.
Hold on. Paul
Dotson is eating. Go ahead.
I just want to talk about, to your point about Terry McLaurin hasn't even really gotten involved yet. That's the whole thing. I mean, he's had his flashes here and there, but McLaurin hasn't even fucking,
defenses are scared of him.
Yeah.
You look at what Dotson, we talked about this last week. Dotson is feasting because they're all over McLaurin. And frankly, When we get to butt pats and head smacks, Terry McLaurin gets my butt pat for two reasons. One, I thought that he definitely led the offense in the second half. Wentz stood up tall, but McLaurin made some tough catches. He made some nice plays. And two, he's got a nice butt. I like to pat him.
We've seen McLaurin take over games last year. A lot of times he's taken over some games. We just haven't seen that yet. And that's okay, though. That's okay.
And he doesn't have to. Because there's others. Logan Thomas is eating. So the ball is getting spread around. And then when you have Brian Robinson Jr. come back, this offense is going to be fun. We're talking week 2, gentlemen. Week 2. And I'm going to reiterate for a third time. 7 touchdowns, 650 yards passing. Yes, 3 interceptions. But
he's got to be up near the top of the league.
50 yards passing. He is.
He's like got a rating of 100.
This is just week 2. Yeah. Week 3, week 4, as these guys continue to get better, they get healthy. Now, with Chase Rouillet hurt, that's a major concern. However, tough. We can get to that later if we need to. Yeah, he's out for the year, I believe.
No, he's on short-term IR. They don't think it's the year.
It's short-term?
Yeah, short-term
They said short-term?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. I did see it earlier. I was on the plane, and I didn't read that much. But anyways, so
IR, but it's short. It's supposed to be short-term, so there's a good chance of coming back.
And, and the thing is he'll rehab. He'll come back strong. Chase just talking with him. He's a level-headed dude. He's all about the game. We'll be okay in that sense. But you can't help but to notice that these things continue to happen, for this team, and they're trying. But anyways, to get back to my point, on the positives, our offense is our positives. What's going to end up happening and what's going to be the downfall of this team, unfortunately, and I've been saying this even before preseason, but even with preseason, this defense is not scary. And then honestly, when I go in and I'm watching a game, I don't know. I don't know what you can do. We have the talent, though. That's the thing that does kill me. Like, these guys are talented. These guys can play. So if I'm going to say that if we have the talent, then I have no choice at this point to blame the coaching staff. Sure. That these guys are just not being put into position to play their best skill set.
If they're having trouble executing, you got to look at coach.
Exactly. So I really think that, again, I'm not saying put JDR like the others are, putting JDR's head on a platter and calling it quits with him, but you can't keep doing the same thing over and over expecting different results. It's not going to work. So they better, for the sake of the team, the sake of, everyone continuing to hate them because of how bad the team performed, everything, they got to win against Philly. If they don't take this win against Philly in week 3, it's going to be a somber day for a lot of fans.
Yeah, it's going to be a somber day for a lot of people.
And listen, as the season continues, yes, anything can happen. Things we've seen it, somehow we're in a playoff run last year. 2-0. Right. No. So none of this is the end of the world. No. But, the positives, like I said, people who are going after Wentz never liked Wentz to begin with.
Yeah, it ain't Wentz. Wentz is not
the last thing that I'll finish up with. Before the game started, I was at my son's game. Everyone knows that I'm from the area. Everyone here is Eagles fans. Well, everyone there, currently not there, but are Eagles fans. And the one thing that one of these coaches who I never really talk to, but he knows I'm a Commanders fan because I show up every day at practice.
Good. With your big yellow shoes on.
Talking my shit with my big yellow shoes on. Talking my shit with the Commanders clothing, right? He says to me, he goes, man, I know you guys are loving Carson Wentz, but he's going to break your heart. To be quite honest with you, like, if you really break down what he says, he's 100% correct. And he is solidifying validating what a lot of these fans thought about Carson. They love Carson. Carson will keep them in games. Carson, but yet he'll turn the ball over in the worst possible way to lose the game. And that's how these guys feel. Now, not saying that Carson's going to continue to do that, right? But you can't help but to take a look at his 3 turnovers and say, God, every single one of them were awful. I mean, you're right. No turnover is great. But listen, I'd rather see a 40, 50-yard pass down the field get intercepted. At least we're on the other side.
Yeah, it depends on the down and distance. I mean, sometimes that's a punt. Simple as that. You took a shot. Right.
But also, I'm not going to place blame on Scott Turner But we got to quit calling these plays where we're that deep, inside the 10, and we're calling a play that, could potentially put Wentz in a situation where he's trying to make something happen and he throws a bad pass. Now, people will say
back into the end zone as a normal part of the play when you've got a rookie lineman that is feasting.
Right.
Aiden Hutchinson was eating them up, and they were doing things to get him open to do it. I mean, he was coming through on a lot of different stunts, and our offensive line couldn't touch it. The fumble in the end zone, he got Charles Leno. We love Charles Leno. Charles Leno doesn't get beat very often, but he freaking ran right around him like he was a traffic cone.
Every single offensive lineman in that first half were getting beat all game long. They were getting worked,
right.
every single one of them.
Right.
They couldn't keep up with the stunts.
Scheme and the play calling of the defense that was able to put those guys into positions to win. And we kept calling plays that gave them the time to be in position to win. Go back, stand back there for a minute, look around. No, fucking throw it quick. Get it over the goddamn top of their heads. Just throw it into 5 yards across the line of scrimmage, hit the tight end, and let him run 5 yards. This is how we get.
People would say, well, that's playing scared football.
Whatever.
Not putting Wentz in a position to make a turnover. But at the end of the day, that's strategic. If you know that this is what this guy does and can do, then you've got to look at your playbook and see how you can bail your quarterback from these nasty situations to put him in position where he can develop and make plays.
Look, there's an adage: live by the blitz, die by the blitz. But you can't make them die by the blitz unless you do something to do it, and we didn't.
I want to go back and talk about the offense just real quick before I forget. Our running game has not gotten going yet. I don't know if y'all have noticed that.
Did all right last
week. We got what? I think Antonio gets to like 57 yards or something like that. I think that's going to add another dynamic to the offense, and it's going to actually might help the defense out a little bit by staying on the field longer. I mean, we had some really long drives in that second half. I mean, I think 2 of them were 10-plus play drives. And most of it was a passing game. We could not run. We didn't run very well. I mean, we ran all right against Jacksonville. But Brian Robinson, I think, might help.
Definitely help.
I'm talking about the defense, just holding on to the ball for time and possession purposes. Because the more we can keep them off the field, I think the better it is for the whole entire team. To be honest,
I mean, everybody. It was just a bad day all around for practically everybody, except for the second half with a few guys on the offense that played well. And you got to give credit to the offensive line for giving Wentz the time to throw the ball. Defensively, they're bad. Special teams was bad. Tressway missed a fucking tackle. What's the matter with you? Jesus Christ. All right, let's do some butt pats and some head smacks. Butt pats. Attaboy. Head smacks. Get out of here. All right, Keith, who gets your first butt pat? You can use offense, defense, however you want.
I'm not giving anyone a butt pat.
No butt pats.
None. Zero. I don't believe anyone deserves anything positive for this game. Y'all stunk it up. I don't care what you did in the second quarter. I can appreciate 27 points in 2 quarters, something that we haven't seen a team come back and do. Hell, we struggled just to get 27 points in an entire game. But at the end of the day, you lost. All y'all stunk it up. So no butt pat.
All right, butt pat for Keith for calling it like it is. Attaboy. All right, Jesse, any butt pats for you?
Yeah, Curtis Samuel, again, deserves one. I think him being healthy it shows why they signed him to a pretty good-sized contract. Everybody, including our host, John, was pretty hard on him last year.
Yes, I was.
Now, if we can just figure out how to get him the ball spread out through all 4 quarters, he might get a double butt pat. But he deserves one. And I think Daron Payne is the defense sucks, yes, but Daron Payne's a fucking animal. He was in the backfield all game yesterday, but he can't be at 11 other positions at one time, so it really doesn't do much. But he deserves half a pat, I guess.
Attaboy. Yeah, I'll tell you what. I think Curtis Samuel felt that touchdown when he got hit in the end zone.
Yeah, oh man, I'm surprised he held on to that ball, man. And at first I was like, oh shit, is he fucking hurt? Please don't tell me here.
You could see when they let him up, and you could see when they had the cameras real close.
Yeah.
You could see he's like, Hopefully there was no cracked ribs or anything like that with him there. I'll give one to Terry McLaurin because in the second half he did ball out. He played very well. In the first half, I think a lot of it was mostly due to the scheme and the fact that they were not able to change anything of what they were doing and try to take advantage of the defense coming in. Like I said, Keith, you live by the blitz, you die by the blitz. And you do want to take advantage of the skill set that our guys have. But one way to do that, you got to back them off first. So when they're coming in like that, man, pop one over their heads. Let it go. We've seen it happen to us. How many times? Evan Ingram, we've watched the Giants do it to us. I don't know how many goddamn times. Just throw one over, quick over to the side or right over the top of that blitzing line, and boop, up the field he goes. If they want to call it playing scared, I call that being stupid. There's no such thing as playing scared unless you go out on first down and punt. If you're trying to do something to give your quarterback some more time to be able to set these things up, when you don't have a first down for the entire first half, you got to do something. So,
I got one more. Butt pat. I got to give a
for
butt
Terry.
pat to Jim Irsay. Good job. All your problems was, Wentz was your whole entire problem. We see that now. So it's good job getting rid of him because, that was going to fix your whole team and y'all are going to go to the Super Bowl this year.
Hey, I'll tell you what, the Colts scored 0.
I know. They've been awful.
So
they've been really bad.
They scored 0 and they've had a tie. So for Bob Irsay, attaboy. Way to go. All right. What about head smacks? Keith, who you giving a head smack to?
Whole damn team. But let's go ahead and start off. I'm going to give it to the offensive line, man. Offensive line is supposed to be the beef of our team. And
rough game for them.
It was a very rough game. They let us down extremely. So, I can sit here and beat up on the defense all day long. We already know they've got my head smacks or face smacks or whatever you want to call them, already. So, you know what? It's time that the offensive line can get this nastiness too. Y'all can get this because you played straight up trash.
Yeah,
and
absolutely
need to bounce back. You need to bounce back.
Now they played a lot better in the second half, but you're 100%. They're 100% right, Keith. They were running into each other. They were just they just did not. I put a tweet out. We've never seen Masco's line be not prepared for a game since he's been here, and they just looked.
They were overwhelmed. They didn't have any answer for these stunts.
Totally. And they were doing this all. I don't understand why, because this is what they did to Philadelphia too. They had film on it, but they just did not know where all these stunts that that was being thrown on them. It's like they'd never seen it before.
Not only that, but when you, like I said, been saying, you got to adjust. All right. When you're throwing these things where he's going to take the snap from shotgun and then drop back another 5 steps, that means all your offensive linemen are backpedaling, which puts them at such a disadvantage when these guys are coming with so many people. They just get overwhelmed, and they did. Trey Turner looked like the fat kid whose mom cried to the coach and got him to get some playtime. Motherfucker didn't look like he belonged on a football field. So, I don't know. Yeah, offensive line for you. Mine is the linebackers yet again, except for Jamin Davis. I thought Jamin Davis, the things that happened to him in coverage, I don't think are necessarily totally his fault. I did like the blitz. We showed that he's got some speed to get to the quarterback. He's got some speed to make a difference. And he comes in, he made the sack for one. He had a couple of good shots in the run game where he got into the hole and made a nice hit. That's the thing I like about him the most, is that when he does hit, he hits hard. He's just got to get more consistent about where he's supposed to be. And I think that has a lot to do with, A, he's overdrafted. All right, we're expecting a lot out of him because of his draft position, and I don't think he can do what it's supposed to do yet. And 2, he's surrounded by A and 2, right? There we go. So number 1 and number B, he's surrounded by shit. Who's supposed to teach him what to do out there? Cole Holcomb? Cole Holcomb doesn't know what the fuck to do. Cole Holcomb's going to tell him, look, you see that gap over there? Head over there in a couple of minutes. We're going to sit around here and fucking read the paper first.
I'm telling you. Milo and Bostic, man. Let's do it.
Whatever. It doesn't make any difference. He's fucking putting David. Honest to God, Jack Del Rio turns and looks down the bench and goes, Mayo, get in there. And honestly, you got to wonder right then and there why you don't see smoke coming out of his ears, because everything is short circuiting. You know it is. He's old. He's senile. He played in the fucking plastic helmet and his brain has been scrambled. David Mayo. Jesus fucking Christ. I'll tell you what. Mayo goes with turkey and toast, and that's it. Anyway. So let's see. Do we have anybody left that we want to give head smacks to other than everybody else? Oh, Joey Sly for missing a kick. Get out of here. So
do we have a kicker problem?
The 2-point conversion. Get out of here. The fuck was that?
I mean, listen, I'm not going to flip out like the fucking Twitter meltdown. You know,
he's not in Hopkins territory yet for missing on so many.
Yeah. The 2-point conversion call, everybody fucking flipped out about that. I'm not trying to win. It's whatever. We didn't make it. You know?
They said in the post game that it's the book says that in that situation at that score you go for it. And I get it.
I heard it on the radio this morning how it break down the analytics breakdown. I get it.
No for the game though.
Yeah, and maybe I think we just have scored a touchdown. It is what it is. I don't think it would have mattered because our defense can't fucking stop a 90-year-old woman in a wheelchair. So I don't think it mattered anyways.
All right. So Keith, tell me, just what the fuck does "it is what it is" mean?
It means if we're looking at some shit, chances are it's going to continue to be shit, and you're just accepting the shit.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. But you don't think like maybe some salt and pepper might help?
Well, I know that this football teams need more pepper because the salt in that linebacker core ain't working.
That's true. I got to say, and I'll say it again until the day I die. Cole Holcomb stinks because he's white, and that's the end of that. I tell you what, I kept putting up pictures on Twitter yesterday. Every time Dax Milne caught the ball on a return, I'd find a picture of a vanilla ice cream cone or a glass of milk or whatever. And, they say he's got moves and he's fast and all that. And all I see is these little legs pumping up and down, and he's not going very fast anywhere. He's just running. So, whatever. All right. So, Philadelphia, we're going to look at that on Friday. I think that we're all pissed off about this entire game. So, we were both this week, thanks to Doc.
You going to be the victim or you going to be the prey?
We were both. We were victimized and then ripped apart by a feasting pride of lions.
I mean, Karen was straight up on the phone calling 911 because there was nothing but murders all day long yesterday. That chick was
calling on behalf of Cole Holcomb.
She was busy on that phone.
Look, I said it on Friday. The Lions are better than I think people think. You guys said it the same way at the beginning because they're the Lions. They were that Lions, and I mean they've been that Lions for a long time. But
they're not the same Lions. They're not the same Lions.
No, Goff isn't the best quarterback, but he does have big game experience. Whether he had a team around him or not, you still have to deal the ball. Wide receiver they're going to make some quarterbacks look good, but it still has to get there. Simple as that. I'm on Ross St. Brown. That dude is real.
DeAndre,
shout out to their coach and that team. They're better.
Yeah, he is. They are better. They're buying into what he said. But Ross St. Brown, I'm a Ross St. Brown. I believe.
DeAndre Swift, is that his name?
Yeah, running back? Ran well.
Listen, he was hobbled. It was on a pitch count. He was playing at like 60%, and he was still the best player on the goddamn field.
Well, other than I'm a Ross St. Brown. That dude's real. I got to give it to him. So, and thankfully, the guy that I thought would be their X factor, the tight end, Hawkinson. I mean, he had one good catch, but he didn't really have a very good game.
Wasn't impressed with him.
They didn't need him. They didn't need to do any of that stuff. No. They could go get whatever they wanted whenever they wanted.
It was 7 plays of 50 or more yards. Just that's it, man.
And listen, I hate to bring this up, but and kind of bring up negatives, but Hutchinson was eating our asses alive, and when he came out of the game, that's when we started scoring points. If that man would have stayed in, I don't think we would have gotten as close as we did. He was literally it wasn't even fair.
He was
playing on a whole different level.
He was hurt. He was limping the whole game.
Yeah, I think he got hurt at the end of the third quarter.
He was limping in the first half. They had him on the first half. He was sitting over on the sidelines. They had pulled his pant leg up.
Yeah, but he was also sitting out a lot of plays in the third and fourth quarter as well, mainly fourth quarter. But he was sitting out, and I'm telling you, I really think that's the only reason why we were able to convert the ball downfield, because that guy was owning us all game long. And
From
all of
both
a sudden, he comes out, and now we're putting points on the board. And I'm like, yo, that guy had to have been a difference maker.
No, I don't think he was out as much as I know he kept limping back and forth to the sideline. But I think even on the TV call, they said that he was he kept coming to the sideline. He might have took a play or two off like every 5 or so plays, but he was out there. They kept blitzing to the very end. They kept blitzing us to the very end. I am going to give kudos to the offensive line for straightening it out, and he's having a hell of a time with his phone.
You bitch!
I think it's funny. Yeah. All right. Well, I thought he played well, but I also think that we obviously made some kind of an adjustment at halftime. Now, granted, I would also think that the Lions made an adjustment at halftime that might not have been their best one, because we were able to do things in the second half that we absolutely couldn't even begin to do in the first half. It's not like we did too much change, and Wentz was still dropping back deep. They were still doing play actions that took a while to develop.
They were still blitzing. They kept blitzing. They kept blitzing. And
offensive line made an adjustment and started picking them up. And I tell you what, we got to see a lot more J.D. McKissick in there, who is really good at blitz pickup. Yeah. And we saw him doing that a lot.
I can't wait till Robinson comes, because getting that running game going is going to help so much. And we're dynamic in the passing game when Wentz is on, and we're going to have to live with some of these plays. We're going to have to live with it. I think we're all resigned to that, and it is. I mean, fucking A. But having a running game, which I think has been missed, and fucking call Eric Flowers. We're starting to get banged up on the offensive line. Fucking call Eric Flowers. Just give him a call. We have money. We have money. Fucking
call
pay
Landon Collins and Eric Flowers.
Yeah, we can pay. We can pay both of them. Come on, it's not guaranteed. It's after week 1. Go fucking call them. They're two viable players that can come in and fucking help out right now.
Right. You might like your guys, but we don't. And we are the ones that are more important than you.
Pretty much. I got nothing else.
About it. All right. Well, let's. You got any sit downs and shut ups?
No.
Sit down and shut the fuck up. Shut up.
Jack Del Rio. Sit down and shut
up.
Shut up and sit down.
Shut up. Just sit your ass down here and shut up.
Yeah.
Jack stop.
Sit down and shut up.
Hey, coaching staff, stop blaming Jamin Davis for your faults. How about that?
Yeah.
Sit down, shut up.
Yeah,
Stop
blaming
yourselves.
I'm getting tired of hearing the secondary saying they've got communication problems. Why?
Yeah.
Why do they still have communication problems? You could have taught them in the time that we've been hearing that excuse. You could have taught them all to speak fucking Japanese. All right. How are they still having communication problems?
Yeah, it's stop putting Jamin Davis in a position to fail. So start putting him. Hell, fucking let him rush the passer. I mean, shit, he's good at that. We've seen it 2 weeks in a row now.
Yep. Early on, and we didn't see it any time after that unless he got washed in. But you got to keep trying. You got to keep doing things like that. St. Just, man, you got to pick it up. He had a couple of decent plays.
He could have had an interception. He should have had that interception.
He should have had an interception. It was right in his hands. That would have been a very nice play at that juncture of the first half. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
So there goes my.
Sit down and shut the fuck up. Shut up. Shut up. Sit the fuck down and shut up. Shut up and sit down. Will you shut up? Just sit your ass down here and shut up.
All right. And I think that's what we're going to do. You got anything left for the day?
Yeah, I'd like to notate, which I know I bragged about it like 6 different times on Twitter yesterday. I'd like to, being a parent and cheering on your kids, that's probably one of the toughest things I've ever had to do. Last year, my kid played every snap, offense, defense. This year, it's a lot different. My kid's on the sidelines. And as a parent, that hurts me because I know deep down it bothers him. But when he did get in the game, he made some mistakes. It was his first game, made some mistakes. But then he finished it off with that beautiful sack. And I think that sack really – and not only did he get a sack playing defensive end, but he literally got it on the other side of the field. He chased the dude from behind, got a sack, got up, his teammates were cheering from him, especially after he made a couple mistakes and was immediately pulled out of the game. And as a parent, that was super difficult for me to watch and see because I know how it made him feel. But he went back out and still played and responded. So it also taught me a lesson as a parent to say, dude, you can stay back. Let your kid, you don't blame the coaches because your kid's not out there playing. Tell your kid that if you want more playing time, you got to bust your ass in practice. Show them that you want more playing time. So for him to go out there and have these mistakes, but then to go in and make a big play, and his teammates were real excited for him. I mean, he got back up, and I knew that boosted his confidence. But, man, it is so difficult as a parent to see this because, of course, at the end of the day, you always want your kids to be successful in whatever it is that they do. You hate to see them make mistakes, but I'm learning that it's okay.
That's how you learn to be successful. Yeah,
that's exactly right. I didn't go and, after the game and I didn't, hammer him, but I also didn't, I just basically, was normal with him and told him, hey, look, I know this game didn't go the way that you would have liked it to go, but, you build character through this. You see the mistakes that you made, you don't do it again, or you try not to at least. But in football, you're going to make mistakes. It's how you overcome those mistakes.
Just like life.
And to see that kid get that sack was probably one of the greatest feelings as a dad, and I hope that there's many more to come. So thank you to all who reached out and gave some positive encouragement. Look, I'm going to brag about that stuff. I can't brag about a Commanders win, so I'm going to brag about my kid all day long.
Go Bears.
Yeah, go Bears. They lost the game. They lost the game, but, like I said, more importantly, man, it's just so much fun watching these kids play football. So that's all I got. I was just telling everyone thanks for the positive the people that are listening that give positive, encouragement. It's super cool. So
for everybody out there, attaboy.
Carter can get my attaboy.
There you go. All right, well, then I guess we're going to wrap it up right around an hour. How about that? We are something today. See, this is what happens. We lose, and we don't feel like talking to anybody.
That's right.
That's right. Keith has been mad at me, throwing his phone all over the goddamn hotel room. He's up in Boston. I told you I'd give you 20 points if you give me a Boston accent.
All right, you ready?
Here we go.
This actually happens, but not today. But I've been here multiple times. But anyways, here's my accent. It's the best I got. I'm going to drive my car to the boatyard, and then we're going to have to drink a cup of coffee.
He was probably driving and they were all yelling at him, get the fuck out of the way.
That's exactly what was happening.
Get your car and get the fuck out of the way.
So, no. Quick story. So I was at the airport, and I've never been to the Boston airport. And, Boston Logan is very challenging.
Ever since the Pilgrims landed there, they've built it up quite a bit.
Yeah. Well, apparently I was struggling to find the rental car joint to drop my car off, and apparently I was taking too long, and this Boston guy is like, move out of the way, will ya?
We got a rental car here with your name on it.
Right, and, so I roll down my window, and I'm like, what? I can't even understand you. Speak English. And so he flicked me off. Yeah, and he was cursing me out, and I was like, oh, yeah, well, how about I just take my car to the boatyard? And I'm like, just talking coffee and just trying to come up with all the stereotypical things I can do. And at the end of the day, I sounded like a big idiot. So it is what it is. But for anyone who cares,
how you say a big idiot with a Boston accent?
What?
Keith Gray.
Oh, I was hoping you'd say Jesse.
No, I didn't. I figured that.
All right.
Since you feel like a big idiot up there in Boston. I would recommend to you to not drive under the Big Dig. Don't drive in the tunnel under the Big Dig. I couldn't bring myself to do it because one of these days it's going to collapse and everybody's going to die horribly. I don't know if you ever read any news about that, but as soon as they fucking opened it, it was leaking.
Yeah. Nah, there's just something about this place that I've never had a good experience every time I come here. There's always something.
It's all That's what it is.
Okay, good time to call it quits.
That is a good time to call it quits before we get all the white people mad at us. But
all right.
That's just the way it's going to be. They're slow. We can outrun them.
Oh, they're salty.
All right, then. Till next time, gentlemen. We'll see y'all on Friday. We're going to talk about the Eagles' upcoming matchup. If anybody wants to go over to YouTube and watch the show over there and give us a like and go to betus.com. We're going to do our commercial for it next week. Actually, I guess I should do the goddamn commercial. Okay, here comes the commercial read. Everybody.
Hey, John.
Right here at the end. Yes, sir.
John.
Yes.
I was looking to place some bets and wagers. What's the greatest place that I can do that at?
Why, Keith, it's a good thing you asked. Listen up, sports bettors. Your favorite sport book, BetUS.com, is back for our 28th year of NFL action. With the industry's biggest sign-up bonus of up to 200%, BetUS offers our members the opportunity to cash in on all your favorite sports, including NFL, UFC, and MLB. If you're looking for live in-game betting, incredible odds with daily odds, boosters, props, and parlays, we got them. How about fast payouts and exceptional? What was that word you were saying last week during the show, Keith? That was completely wrong. I put it in the I put it in the preview, but you were saying a word that was completely wrong, like I just did. How about fast payouts with exceptional one-to-one customer service? We got that too. Log into betus.com or call 1-800-792-3887. That's 1-800-79-BET-US. betus.com, where the game begins. And that takes us exactly to almost 1 hour and 1 minute. So I'm going to say, fuck off, everybody. We're out.
Fuck off.
All right.
That's perfect.